Life as I knew it ended abruptly the night I lost my girlfriend to cancer. It started in her right breast, and we thought she was going to beat it, but it metastasized. It spread like wildfire through her already frail body, destroying her from the inside out. All the doctors we saw, the money we spent on treatments, did nothing to stop it. Even knowing that death was coming didn't lessen the blow. Watching her take that last breath, I'm pretty sure I died with her that night. Without her in my life, I fucking fell apart. I quit giving a shit about anything, you know? She was my whole world. I couldn't cope with her loss. I quit taking cases, hit the bottle instead. It was easier just in a drunken haze than to deal with anything. What the hell are you doing? Great, I'm fucking hallucinating now. I thought to myself, not even bothering to open my eyes. That isn't her. She's dead. I got her urn beside my bed. I spent all this time trying to figure out how to reach you, and you're just going to ignore me? I don't think so, asshole. Something hit me in the head, and I raised my head to... No, I murmured, shaking my head, and regretting it immediately as a wave of dizziness hit me at once. You're not there. You're dead. You can't be here. It was her. A sad look crossed her face, and she stepped over to where I was slouched on the couch, bottle of Jack on the coffee table that was mostly empty. Alec, she said, death doesn't mean I can't look in on you. Raven, I murmured, my hand reaching to touch her, only to have it pass right through. Oh God, why would you torture me like this? I loved you. You were my fucking world. I'm here because you're destroying your life, you idiot, she countered, looking cross at me. Don't you remember the promise you made me? Or was that an empty one that you had no intention of keeping? Sighing heavily, I ran a hand over my face. Before she had died, she had asked me to promise her that I would keep my business going. When Raven and I had started dating, it was partially because we had a mutual interest in the paranormal. I mentioned a pipe dream of having a business where I cleared houses of entities for people, and she pushed me into seeing it come to life. It turned out I was really good at it, or at least good enough that realtors would call me up now if they had a place that wasn't quite right. I hadn't taken a case since the night she died, though preferring to drown my sorrows instead. No, Raven, I remember, I told her. Without you here with me, it's not the same. Those people need you, Alec, she reminded me. Look at all the good you did. I knew she was right, but I didn't want to admit it, so I just shrugged at her. So you're just going to give up, huh? She asked pointedly. Just roll over and die, and fuck all the hard work we both did to get the business going. You know, I never figured you for such a goddamned... Okay! I yelled, knowing where she was going with that. Alright, you fucking win, okay? You want me to keep taking cases, keep clearing houses, fine. I don't want you to do it if that's the fucking attitude you're gonna have, she countered, arms folded across her chest. But I want you to get off that fucking couch and stop drinking yourself to death. I want you to keep your fucking word to me, Alec. It's the least you can fucking do, after all. Raven, you know I... But she was gone, leaving me sitting there alone. Fuck. Shoving myself to my feet, I waited until the room stopped spinning, and then I carefully made my way to the bathroom to get a shower. God knows I probably needed one, and just maybe it would clear my head some. When I got out of the shower, I could hear my phone ringing in the living room. Wrapping a towel around my waist, I headed down the hall to answer it. Hello? Alec, dude, you gotta help me, Nate said. He sounded exhausted. I know Raven's death hit you hard, but I got nobody else I can call for this shit. What's going on? I asked, heading back to the bedroom to put him on speaker so I could dry off and get dressed. I bought the old Granger place, he told me, and I felt goosebumps break out. So much worse than anyone ever talked about. Please say you'll help me clear this goddamn house. I can't do it on my own. I fucking tried, man. Just pissed whatever it is off. What did you try? I asked. Walk me through it, Nate. Everything, he replied, and there's real fear in his voice now. Sea salt, sage, cedar, fucking holy water, hell! I even had Emma mix me up a good batch of tar water. Nothing has worked, Alec. Nothing. I don't know what the fuck is here, but it ain't fucking leaving. Oh, yes it is. I stated, going to the den to pull on my boots. I'll meet you out there in 20 minutes, Nate. We'll get this taken care of. See you soon. But, Alec, bring the big guns. I stuck the phone down in my pocket, took a deep breath. The Granger place was well known in our town, and why Nate had bought the damn place I didn't know. On more than one occasion, people had left in an ambulance from going there thinking they could banish whatever was in there. Nate was good. I'd used him on more than one occasion to help out when Raven got sick, but he wasn't that good. All right, babe. What do I take with me? I murmured, scanning the bookcases that held the tools of my trade. Sea salt, sage, cedar, holy water, tar water. That didn't work according to Nate. Well, that doesn't leave much now, does it? I swiped 3 amber bottles off the shelf, stashing them in the satchel I carried. Then I picked up a small clay pot with a tight-fitting lid and the jar of black salt Raven had made. I didn't know what she'd put in it, but the shit was powerful. Giving the shelves one last, long look, my eyes settled on Raven's pendant. With a shaky sigh, I picked it up and slipped it around my neck, feeling the wooden disc warm a bit as it touched my bare skin. As good as I'm going to get, I muttered, and turned to head out the door to the Granger place. Nate was standing beside his truck when I pulled up, a tight smile forming when he saw me. Why'd you buy this place? I asked, getting out with the black satchel over my shoulder. He sighed, running a hand over his face. Stupid, he admitted. No one wanted it because of its reputation. I thought I would be the one to clear it out. I thought I was good enough, Alec. That showed me how wrong I was. I looked at the 2-story farmhouse, set on the edge of the woods. Standing there in the yard, I could feel something, and it wasn't anything good. Well, let's get to it. You follow my lead, you hear me? I don't want either one of us leaving here hurt, or worse, dead. Think of the notoriety you'll get if you manage to clear this place, though, he pointed out. Yeah, well, I don't really give a fuck about that, I told him, heading for the porch. The smell of death hit me like a slap in the face the second my foot landed on the first step up. Not even batting an eye, I pulled out the little tube of eucalyptus mixed with the coconut oil and rolled it under my nose. Raven had made that for us, for particularly bad cases. I was thankful for that now. This was foul. Here, roll that under your nose, I instructed, handing the tube to Nate as I went on up the stairs to the front door. The door was standing wide open, giving me ample opportunity to get a feel for the place without actually going inside. I opened the screen door and stood maybe an inch or so outside the open doorway, my eyes scanning the foyer area, as well as the stairs and the open doors down the hall. When the front door slammed abruptly, I really wasn't surprised. What the fucking hell is in that house, Alec? Nate asked. Anyone not versed in dealing with the supernatural world would just say it's a demon, I replied, one eyebrow raising. And in a sense, they'd be correct. Raven called things like this soul eaters, though. They aren't human, and they never were, Nate. They're entities created out of rage. Created by those fucking wannabe Satanists trying to do goddamn rituals they have no fucking idea how to go about. Nah, those fuckers go up to a den in places like this, say a bunch of gibberish in fucking Latin, spill some blood, call it done, not realizing that the fucking hell they leave behind for people like us to clean up. I stopped, taking a deep breath as I realized how angry I'd gotten talking about it. Sorry, man. Subject's just kind of sore for me. Anyhow, they latch onto some unlucky bastard and turn them into a walking vegetable. The lights are on, but no one's home ever again. Pretty much turn you into a drooling no zombie, Nate, and they don't play by any rules known to us or the gods either. I take it this is going to be tough, he hedged. I gave him a wry smile. I can sense a dozen of the fuckers in there, Nate. Tough isn't the word I'd use. You ever deal with one before? I turned to the closed door, my mind pulling up a memory. Oh yeah, I replied. I've danced with one of these assholes before. 3 months after we'd gotten my business off the ground, one of the local real estate agents had called us about this cute little bungalow in the middle of town. A young couple had bought it, moved in, and then, not a week later, the wife had been institutionalized. Considering she'd been healthy as a horse and of sound mind, the husband had hired a paranormal investigation team to come out and see what was what. Well, one of them had gotten the life sucked out also, so the realtor called us. Raven had taken one look at the house, and her entire expression had shifted into something almost unrecognizable to me. Oh, goody, she muttered. I get to play with you. She had been the one to banish it, not me. She'd doused the whole fucking house in her special oil, and then she screamed at it in a language I didn't recognize at all until it manifested right in front of her. When it saw the little clay pot she was holding, it screamed and tried to run. She'd fucking growled at it, and in the pot it had gone. Yeah, my girlfriend wasn't someone to fuck with when she was pissed. We'd cleaned a lot of houses together, and I'd never seen her do that before. Now it was my turn. Problem was, I had at least 12 of them to take care of, and Raven wasn't there. Right. Piece of fucking cake. Wish you were here, babe, I muttered, digging her special oil out of my satchel and pushing open the door. Nate, stay with me. Whatever you do not wander off. These things aren't a joke. Don't worry, man. I ain't going nowhere without you. We went to the north side of the house, upstairs, and started in there with the oil and the black salt both, moving counterclockwise. From north, we went west, south, and then down the stairs, since the stairs faced east, and there were no more rooms. Downstairs, we did the same thing, and I could feel those things gathering now. I could feel them pushing at me, trying to get to me. They weren't able to. Nate, remember what I said, I muttered. Things are about to get real in here. When we'd cleared the last room and were about to try shoving them out the front door, all 12 of them manifested. Oh, what the fuck, man? Nate swore, staring at them. They were all wearing my dead girlfriend's shape. I was looking at 12 carbon copies of Raven. Like, why? One of them asked. God damn it, it sounded like her too. I thought you loved me. Why are you trying to throw me out? You're not Raven, I said, continuing with the oil and salt. Yes, I am, it yelled, tears spilling over its cheeks. God damn it, Alex, I just talked to you not an hour ago. You're lying, I countered, locking down my emotions. I told you to remember your promise to me. Yeah, well, I'm telling you to get the fuck out of my friend's house, I stated, shoving at them as I went with the oil and salt. And that was when they changed tactics on me. Screaming, they rushed us to see if we'd budge. When we didn't, they got physical, something I had not expected. One of them grabbed Nate and threw him into the stairs hard enough to knock him out. The remaining group surrounded me in the foyer. You can't win, Alec, they all said in unison. We're stronger than you are, and your pathetic girlfriend is dead. Would you like to know how she got cancer, Alec? Do you want us to tell you the truth about her death? I really don't give a shit, I said, staring at them evenly. Oh, but you do, you stupid mortal. Raven was delicious, Alec. We enjoyed eating her soul when we found her in the hospital. We savored every last drop of her. We drank your sorrow when you visited, and you didn't even know we were there. Poor, dumb Alec, too blinded by his girlfriend's death to realize she wasn't even there anymore. I knew they were just trying to piss me off, to get me angry enough to fuck up and let them at me. It was almost working, too, I had to confess. I'm not the one hiding what I really am, so who's the stupid one again? I taunted. A wave of fury whipped through the foyer. All 12 of them dropped the guides they'd been wearing. No, these things were clearly never even remotely human. This was the stuff of nightmares now. Black, rotting, maggoty flesh hung on 2 long skeletal frames, dripping pus and viscous black fluids onto the floor. Milky orbs regarded me in pure malice, and mouths gaped open to display far more teeth than any mouth I had a right to have. The teeth were jagged, chunks of dead flesh caught in them and maggots moving among the dead flesh there. The longer I looked at them, the worse it got, really. The wooden pendant started burning me, dragging me out of my dazed state and back to reality. Let me in, Alec, and trust me. The voice I did not recognize, but what the fuck did I have to lose at this point? Fine, I muttered, and something slid into my body the second the word was out of my mouth. I became a passenger, as whoever this was took over and began screaming at them in what I was pretty sure was a dead language. The entities began screaming back, huddling in a mass at the doorway. I watched as I uncapped the clay pot and shoved it at them, the screaming increasing in intensity and volume both. If I had to hazard a guess at what was being said, it would be something like, "Get your fucking ass in this goddamn pot right this minute or I'm going to destroy you." Whoever this was, they weren't fucking around. I could feel the rage coursing through me, rage that the stupid entities weren't cooperating. Nate came back around right as I cornered them up against the open doorway, the scream deepening to a growl instead. "Oh, what the fuck?" I heard him mutter. And those 12 entities shifted into a black, oily cloud that funneled into the pot, quite neatly. The pot was corked back, and suddenly I was in the control again. The rich, heady scent of old roses ghosted past me as I left, leaving me wondering who the hell had taken over. That wasn't Raven, I was sure. Who the hell was it, though? "Alec!" Nate yelled, jerking me out of my dazed state once again. "What the fucking hell was that?" I held the clay pot aloft. Just cleaning your house, man," I quipped. "That is what you brought me here for, right?" He blinked at me. "You're not funny right now," he stated. "Look, I can't explain it right now, okay?" I said. "I just need time to figure out what happened. But for now, just be thankful because those things were about to eat us both." Taking a deep breath and exhaling, he nodded and cautiously got up from the stairs. "I can accept that," he told me. "You hurt anywhere?" I asked. He shook his head. "Nah, I'm good. A little sore, maybe a lump on my noggin, but you know I'm fucking hard-headed anyhow." I chuckled, shaking my head. "Well, I'm gonna get this home and taken care of." I told him, "You have any more problems, you call me right away, hear me?" He nodded sheepishly. "I hear you, man. And thanks." Well, now, that was a story by Alec Felliar. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm not so great at pronunciations with names sometimes. He's over on Reddit, and he's actually got a bit of a series going on with that. Next one is I Clear Houses for a Living, the groovy house that wasn't so groovy after all, and I Clear Houses for a Living, Uninvited Guest. If you're writing more of those, I'd love to read them out loud, Alec. They are amazing. I really like these stories. Yeah. Not sure what else to say about that. If you guys liked this story, go and find Alec Velliar. AlecVeliar on Reddit. I'll add the link below in the comment section. Comment below. Have you guys ever lived in a haunted house before? How did you guys resolve the issue, or did you just move out and pretend it never happened? um, I'm thinking maybe if people actually comment on these stories, I might tell you. I might read them out loud in the next story in the next week. That gives you guys a week to comment on, what you think about this story. I really couldn't care less what you think about, how I talk. Comment your own stories. If you have one and you want to share it, or you want me to read it out loud, I have a subreddit. Little Horror Stories on Reddit as a subreddit. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas to talk, so I'm just gonna go now. Anyways, thank you again, Alec, for this story. If possible, I'd love to read the rest of them out loud, maybe next week or week after that or something, if you're alright with that. Yeah. Beware the dark, because that's where the monsters are. Unless you live in a haunted house, in which case that's where they are.